Vladimir Putin! Vladimir Putin!
When Russia invaded Ukraine, countries around the world were forced to take sides. My country, Serbia, has resisted imposing sanctions on Russia. And the fringe hardline ultra-nationalist group is pushing for closer links with an old ally.
We prefer Russia.
I've been shocked to watch as the war in Ukraine reopened old wounds from our own Balkan wars. And now, Serbia's nationalists are on the rise again. With exclusive backstage access, I spent the last year investigating some of their most extreme voices.
Ja sam im odgovorio da su neredi ono čega oni najmanje treba da se plaše. Da smo mi spremni na mnogo više.
Eto što je mnogo više od toga što su neredi. Ako nije najteže krvoproliće i ubistvo.
My name is Jovana Geogievski, and I'm a BBC journalist. Since 2020, I've heard more and more about a new far-right anti-immigrant group, People's Patrol. It has a reputation for violence, and it was founded by this man, Damjan Knezevic.
Zaustavi liniju, alo, zaustavi liniju.
Se desio taj problem, koji je bio masovan problem širom zemlje, napada ilegalnih migranata koji dolaze uglavnom iz Maroka, Afganistana, Pakistana, zemalja gdje nije bilo ratnih dejstava. Okolo je bilo mnogo narkomana i oni su radili razna dela nad našim građanima. Niko nije se suprotstavio tome nego mi.
Despite his extreme anti-migrant views, we were interested in filming Knezevic to understand his pro-Russian perspective.
Russian army put this Z and V za pobedu. We also in Belgrade and in whole Serbia put that Z on our t-shirts, on our walls, and we support our brothers.
Just days after Russia invaded Ukraine, Knezevic drew international attention by mobilizing thousands in support of Russia's war.
Svakom je Srbinu Rus, brat!
So why are some Serbs so pro-Russia, in stark contrast to most of Europe? The two countries share a common Orthodox Christian faith and Slavic roots. They were allies in both world wars. And like the Russians, Serbs have a sizable anti-Western and anti-NATO sentiment, especially when it comes to Kosovo.
Rusija već mnogo radi da Kosovo i Metohija ostane u sastavu Republike Srbije. Da nema Rusije prvenstveno, davno bi mi izgubili deo naše svete teritorije.
Many Serbs believe that Kosovo is their heartland. There have been Serb cities and key monasteries here for centuries. But by the 1980s, it was ethnic Albanians who were the majority population in Kosovo, and they wanted greater autonomy. Then, like Serbia, Kosovo was part of Yugoslavia. But when the federation tore itself apart in a bloody war, Serbia tried to hold on to Kosovo. Both sides committed atrocities, but when the Serbs began ethnically cleansing the Albanian population from parts of Kosovo, NATO intervened. After 11 weeks of airstrikes, the Serb forces backed down. They preserved some of the ruins of NATO's attack, a permanent reminder of the lives lost and, for some, how the West had wronged them. Then, in 2008, Kosovo declared unilateral independence from Serbia. While the West recognized it, Russia backed Serbia and used its seat in the UN Security Council to block recognition. Over the years, I have witnessed a worrying rise in nationalism. The same kind of nationalism that tore this region apart. Since Knezevic is one of the most extreme voices of my generation, I want to know how he became so radicalized. Now a rope access construction worker in Belgrade, Knezevic tells me that back in 2011 he'd studied in Kosovo.
U toj mojoj prvoj godini studiranja tamo, albanska policija htjela da nametne granicu između Srbije i Kosova. Narod na severu Kosova i Metohije se podigao barikade da spreči to i kao i mi studenti, mnogi od nas smo učestvovali u svemu tome. 6 mjeseci sam proveo u kontinuitetu dole. I to je otvorilo neki novi put u mom životu.
That path recently took Knezevic to Russia. Eight months into the war in Ukraine, Knezevic accepted an invitation to visit Russia's infamous paramilitary group, Wagner. It made this video to celebrate their links.
Многие мои друзья будут гордиться тем, что я имел честь побывать в ЧВК «Вагнер-центре». Он и сама организация имеют чрезвычайную популярность в Сербии.
Wagner was already notorious for committing atrocities in Syria, Africa, and now in Ukraine. In the last decade, Russia has reportedly used paramilitary groups like Wagner to secretly stir up tensions in neighboring countries. In Ukraine, these groups provided the spark that would ultimately lead to Russia annexing parts of the east. Could it be that Russia is grooming people like Knezevic to do something similar in the Balkans?
Ali si ti ikad primio bilo kakav novac odatle?
Ne. Ja nemam kontakte ni sa kim iz Wagnera, sem sa Sašom Licom koji je novinar i koji ima kancelariju tamo. I on mi je prijatelj, dugogodišnji prijatelj kome sam pomagao. Ja podržavam celu tu Wagner kampanju i svaka im čast na svemu što su radili.
Kako vidiš optužbe protiv Wagnera za zločine u Ukrajini?
Pa mislim, to optužbe da je najobičnija jedna propaganda. Dio svaka im čast, čak veće organizovanost nego zvanična ruska vojska.
Back in Belgrade, I catch another glimpse of how Russia's allies are at work. In Serbia's parliament, nationalist parties have formed a coalition to oppose a new EU proposal which they fear would force Serbia to recognize Kosovo's independence. They believe Serbia's President Vučić is considering approving it. Now, it seems Serbia's president, who for years has expertly played the West against the East, is about to abandon Putin. And that has angered Serb nationalists. To oppose the EU deal, Knezevic has called another demonstration. The protesters gather outside the presidential palace to ensure President Vučić hears the message: no recognition of Kosovo and support for Russia. Backstage, just before his speech, Knezevic is taken aside by a man wearing a Wagner insignia. Tensions are high. Earlier that day, police arrested several members of Knezevic's People's Patrol. And Knezevic is also on their radar.
Jer su mi upravo u stan upali, gdje mi je supruga sa 9-mesečnom bebom. Ja nemam drugog izbora. Očekuj me, Vučiću!
Knezevic leads the demonstration towards the presidential palace.
Ja sam im odgovorio da su neredi ono čega oni najmanje treba da se plaše. Da smo mi spremni na mnogo više.
Ja ti smešno! Ćemo te da zatrudniš!
President Vučić responds that night.
Meni nije potrebno da me neko iz Wagnera tapše po ramenu i da mi objašnjava šta smijem i šta mogu da radim ili od nekog drugog. Šta je to što je mnogo više od toga što su neredi? Ako nije najteže krvoproliće i ubistvo. Koga biste da ubijete? A po čijem nalogu?
And then the police come for Knezevic. He's charged with inciting a violent overthrow and taken to prison. A couple of months later, Serbia's politics is turned on its head.
Breaking news that 8 pupils and a security guard have been killed in a school shooting in the Serbian capital, Belgrade.
2 mass shootings had left 19 people dead. It sparked a massive grassroots movement against violence. Week after week, Serbia saw its largest protests in decades, far larger than anything organized by People's Patrol. Sensing an opportunity, Knezevic joins the crowds. After 2 months in prison, he's been released from detention.
Šta se u Srbiji promenilo od kada su se desile ove 2 masovne pucnjave?
Tužno je što su Srbi postali dosta apatičan narod, znate, i bukvalno sve dozvoljavamo da se desi do nekog određenog trenutka. Nekad se desi neka velika katastrofa, mi se budimo.
Kako ti onda vidiš sada budućnost protesta i borbe za zahteve ako su na ulici ljudi koji žele se bore protiv ruskog uticaja?
Mi možemo da protestujemo zajedno samo pod zahtevima i da se ne forsiraju ove druge stvari, naše različitosti. Pošto su počeli da forsiraju različitosti, mi ćemo odgovoriti. I to ne treba da im ide u prilog.
After I left, I uncovered social media footage of People's Patrol at a demonstration, physically attacking liberals in the crowd. Knezevic, in his stripy jumper, can be seen among them. I have seen the tide turn against the nationalists in the year I spent with them. For now, the violent rhetoric has been drowned out by peaceful protest. But as long as the Kosovo issue remains unresolved, Russia will find friends in Serbia.